What's up, everyone? Welcome to Power Play with CJ. I just want to focus in on, I talked about all the individual moves, but kind of bring them together in terms of the Tampa Bay Lightning's, this offseason and why I think they should be the pick to win the Eastern Conference. You start with their division. The reigning division champion, the Boston Bruins, felt, are weaker than they were week 10 days ago. And, you look at Ottawa, what was an up-and-coming team, their captains in Dallas, they're former captains in Dallas. Jason Spezza, you don't know what's happening next with Bobby Ryan. Will he sign an extension with the Senators? Will they trade him? Will he walk away as a free agent next year? That's something you got to keep an eye on. You look at Toronto, they're a lost cause. Montreal, young up-and-coming roster, but tough draw there. They're laying a lot of pressure on them after going to the Eastern Conference Final last year, and then Detroit, older, kind of in a transition period. Then the Panthers and Sabres, good young up-and-coming teams, but they won't exactly be challenging for the Stanley Cup. Now is the time to strike for the Lightning. No pun intended. I really think that they will be the team that wins the division and very well could finish with number one seed in the Eastern Conference. You can't tell me that many of the teams in the East are better than they were before free agency started. The Pittsburgh Penguins, not better. New York Rangers, not better. Philly, not better. Likewise, the aforementioned teams in the division. You look at teams like Columbus, they made a few moves here and there. Johansson still has to sign. They still have some weaknesses they haven't addressed. Will they be a playoff team? Probably. But, are they a legitimate threat to be number one seed in the East? No. So I think now is the time for Tampa. You look at, I was kind of on the fence with the Boyle contract. I love that contract the more I think about it. I think he had better offers, from other teams and, took a little bit less money to join Tampa Bay. Likewise, you got Anton Strawman. Don't love that contract, but don't hate it. I think the way to judge all contracts is it worse than David Bowen's? And no, it's none of those contracts. Sorry. And you look at the organizational depth Tampa has. Jonathan Drouin will make the team next year. He'll be a leading candidate for the Calder Trophy. I can see him, on a line with Stamkos and Ryan Callahan. As a really elite first line. And then you look at the depth, with Philip Palat, Tyler Johnson, and then young guys like Kucherov and the aforementioned Durant. There's just so much youth and experience there that the combination of both of them is really sight to behold. Eiserman, I don't think this was his intention, but you look at the last year of that franchise. LeCavier bought out Marty St. Louis through a hissy fit and got traded. I'm not going to talk about the specifics, but the old guard is gone in Tampa. This is Stamkos' team. Whether or not this was Eiserman's goal when he took over, for it to happen like this, it's happened. You're building around Stamkos. You look at the Lightning. It's like building a house. You need a solid foundation. They have that. But then if you want to build a great house, you need a lot of other things. And another cliche I want to use is Saturday Night Live. There was a skit last year with Kerry Washington as host, and they're making fun of the lack of diversity. And the joke was you have 6 different guys that can impersonate Matthew McConaughey, and no one that can impersonate Michelle Obama. I'm not talking about, just bear with me. It's kind of like that with you have a team where everyone plays the same style. The thing I like about going out, addressing, getting Boyle, adding some size up front. You got plenty of skill. Let's get some snarl. Let's get some big boy in the middle to complement Stamkos and Phil Blood after that. You look at the depth on defense. Victor Hedman, was a top 10 Norris Trophy final, candidate last year. Carl, you add Garrison, you add Strawman. That's a pretty formidable, top 4. You got Schuster, you can kind of hide Brewer more so than you ever have in the past. And then, if Ben Bishop's healthy, look out. So, and I know they got swept out of the playoffs last year, but they're going to take some steps forward. They will be a better team. Than were this year. I think the younger guys will step up. I don't think you got to worry about a sophomore slump with Johnson or Palat because there's just so much depth and talent on this team. They are a legitimate threat to win the Stanley Cup as soon as this upcoming season. And I think you look at, Stamkos can be a free agent in 2 years. 2 years in 2016 is when he can sign a new deal. Is when he can hit the market. He can sign a new deal a year from now. And quite frankly, I see no reason why he shouldn't. You have a great team. A market that is a niche market, but the Tampa Bay Lightning fans love their team, and I can tell you that from living there for 4 years. They're better than the Rays fans, which isn't saying much. But you look at what Stamkos and those guys have. It's like, Jesus, why wouldn't you want to stay in Tampa? You know, and I think he'd be foolish to leave that situation. We'll see what happens in this upcoming year. I'm excited to watch this Lightning team. It sucks. I moved back, to Boston from Tampa the year they become awesome, but I think they're going to be a team that definitely turns some heads and is a threat to win the Stanley Cup next season. So, we'll see what happens. Now is the time to stand and deliver, and I believe this team will do just that. Anyway, that's our next episode of the Power Play with CJ on why I think the Tampa Bay Lightning are the best team in the Eastern Conference. Stay tuned for episodes throughout the offseason and beyond. Later, guys.